Welcome to the 12 Report with Blessings Mosugu, and these are the headlines. PDP challenges APC dominance after 5 council sweep. 10 killed in fresh attacks on 2 Plateau communities. Violence erupt in Mexico after drug lord El Mencho killed. We have our reporters stationed in different parts of the country. Victor Mbadike is in Ondo. Alex Ogbonaya is on standby in Imo. Mono Balagogo joins from Kogi, while Bongani Ziba joins from South Africa. We've got the details in a moment. We begin now with security matters where fresh violence rocked Riyom local government area of Plateau State on Sunday night as armed bandits launched coordinated attacks on Jol community and Dorowa Babuje, killing at least 10 persons between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. National President of the Berom Youth Molders Association, Solomon Dalyop, disclosed this, revealing that 9 people were killed in Dorowa Babuje, while 1 person lost his life in Jol during the separate but near simultaneous attacks. According to Dalyop, the assailants who attacked Jol arrived on motorcycles from the Manga axis despite early warnings issued to security agencies about possible movement in the area. Meanwhile, a massive manhunt is underway in Ondo State for the killers of the Alagamo of Agamo, Kehinde Falodun, who was murdered by suspected bandits during an attack on his palace in Akure North local government area. Security operatives have intensified efforts to track down the assailants following the February 18 attack that has left the community in mourning. News Central's Emmanuel Olubobokun reports.
Police authorities say they responded swiftly to distress calls, deploying tactical teams to the area. Officers from the State Command moved into the palace and adjoining communities to secure the scene and commence investigations. Local security outfits, including Atulishe Security, hunters and Amotekun operatives, have joined in the manhunt, combing nearby bushes and forest areas in search of the attackers.
Military, civil defense and DSS, we went to the community for the spot assessment. Getting there, we were shown the track, the bush track that the hoodlums followed, where they shot at the monarch before they eventually dragged him somewhere and floored him to death. The younger brother to the monarch, to the deceased, and community members of the community, they gave us this information that we are going to work on. We appreciate them for giving that information. In our efforts to get the perpetrators of that heinous crime arrested. The good people of Ondo State, they've tested, trusted, and accepted us. They know anytime we swing in action like that, we waste no time in getting the perpetrators arrested. The record is there for them, so they have that confidence in us. But I want to assure them that in no time we get them arrested. All we're asking them is to give us actionable and credible information that will assist us in the investigation.
Residents described the late monarch as a peaceful and widely respected traditional ruler, whose reign was defined by unity, stability, and community development. They also described how the monarch was killed.
It happened last night, and some young guys with full ammunition came in to the KBC Palace. They met him in his office around 7:30 p.m. and they didn't ask anything from him. They started shooting continuously, like 15 minutes without stopping. And they realized that the bullet is not penetrating. They have to bring out the machete and started cutting the KBC, and it's not enter. They went ahead and dragged him and used the gun, hit him in the stomach. That's how the KBC fall down. And they dragged him and they took him to that place and used stick and just hit his head. That's how the KBC died.
Authorities say efforts are ongoing to apprehend the fleeing suspects. Security presence has also been strengthened across Akure North to prevent further attacks and reassure residents. In Ondo, for News Central, Emmanuel Olubobogun.
And now we go to the education sector, where schools in Kogi State have resumed academic activities today following a temporary closure over security concerns. Students have returned to classrooms amid heightened awareness around safety, with authorities and school administrators assuring parents that necessary measures have been put in place to avoid the incident. All right, we'll come back to Mono Balagugo to give us an update on the schools in Kogi State. But in the meantime, the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, has raised fresh concerns over difficulties faced by candidates registering for the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination in Anambra, Oka South local government area of the state. In a statement posted on his X handle, Obi described the situation at the Anambra office of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board as a repeat of last year's challenges, following the proscription of several CBT centers over alleged infractions. And he said he observed large crowds and confusion during a recent visit, adding that similar reports have emerged from other states. Obi urged authorities to adopt a more humane approach, suggesting sanction centers be allowed to operate under strict supervision to reduce pressure and ease the hardship faced by students. Now, for many traders at Irete Market, selling along the roadside means visibility and quick sales. But for authorities, it poses safety and traffic risks. The Owerri West Council has now set up a market committee to restrict trading to designated stalls. Let's go live now to our correspondent at the Irete Market in Imo State, Alex Obunaya. Alex, good afternoon to you. How are traders reacting to the council's plan to restrict sales to designated stalls? Are they cooperative or are they resistant?
Yes, I was really surprised when some of the traders, all the traders, said nothing about a ban, asking them not to exceed, not to display their wares along the road. When we spoke to the local government chairman 2 days ago, last exercise, he said they have set up a market committee. And before then, they've been around here asking people to move back because of the dangers that they pose that is inherent in selling along the road. But some of them all claim that nothing like that has happened with nothing. Oh, so they know that it's not a good thing selling along the road. But that the local government authorities are not in here to want them to go away. That's what we found out this morning when we got here.
So are there any visible safety or traffic issues that are actually caused by roadside trading at Irete Market right now?
Yes, very early in the morning, early at 7, 8, around this time, it's early morning when it's still traffic. It starts around 6 a.m. Come here around that time, the congestion.
All right, that was the update on the crackdown on Irete Market traders trading by the roadside. You're still watching the 12 report, and we'll go on a short break. When we come back, we've got more stories, to stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us on the 12th report. Now, the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State has commenced an ad hoc congress to elect delegates for the party's national convention. Rivers was exempted from the nationwide state congress by the APC at the national level, as state chairman Tony Okocha has not yet completed his tenure. We now go live to News Central's Biola Festus in Obio Akpor local government area for the latest development. Biola, good afternoon to you. We understand that two factions are laying claim to the APC in Rivers as we speak. Which of them is actually holding this congress?
Good afternoon, Blessing. We have two factions of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. One is being led by Tony Okocha and the other by Emeka Beke. But the faction that is holding this congress today is that of the Tony Okocha led. Now, this congress should have held on Saturday, but for the by-election in two constituencies that held at the weekend, we decided to move it to today. So it's a delegate election. They are electing those that will represent the party. This LGA, it's Obiako LGA and Congress actually, to elect delegates to represent this LGA at the national level for the national convention of the APC. So from this Congress that just concluded, three delegates have been elected, have been voted for, and they are to represent this LGA, Obiako LGA, of course, the LGA of the FCT minister and the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, Martin Amewule. So three persons from this Congress emerged, and they are to be representing this LGA at the national level. Blessing.
So what is the other faction's point of view on this matter?
I spoke to the spokesperson of the other faction led by Emeka Beke just about an hour ago, and he did tell me that they have no business with this Congress. So apparently they are not having this Congress. So it is that of Tonio Kocha that will be representing the state. It is the faction of the Tonio Kocha led that will be representing River State for the national convention.
All right, Biola Festus there to give us an update on the both factions and, of course, the meeting that is currently ongoing. Now, the People's Democratic Party has set up a legal team to contest the results of Saturday's FCT Area Council election. The All Progressives Congress won 5 of the 6 chairmanship seats, with PDP securing Gwagwalada. The poll fielded 6 chairmanship and 62 councillorship seats, amid reports of low voter turnout and alleged vote buying. The PDP cited irregularities, including intimidation and mishandling of result sheets. INEC confirmed over 239,000 voters participated, representing about 15% of registered voters, and denied claims of voter migration. Security agencies reported arrests of 20 individuals for electoral offences, including vote buying. President Bola Tinubu commended the peaceful conduct and voter discipline, urging elected officials to serve with integrity. The APC also affirmed the results as endorsement of its governance policies. And now to discuss more on this, we are joined by Oluwatodimuige, who is the principal partner at Oluwatodimuige and Associate. Thank you so much for joining us, Oluwatodimuige. Now, very quickly, considering APC's gains in the FCT, Kano and Rivers, alongside President Tinubu's endorsement, does this signal growing consolidation of power at the grassroots level?
For having me. With the developments, it shows that there is a strategic alignment, and winning elections definitely doesn't mean dominance. But from the spare of elections that occurred over the weekend, we can see that the APC is strategically aligning itself and positioning itself for a better outcome.
Okay, so, I mean, the PDP has described its Gwagwalada victory as proof of being a formidable force. However, with the APC winning 5 out of 6 councils, does this result expose the PDP's limited reach in the FCT beyond a single stronghold?
Well, for me, in my view, it doesn't show the PDP as a strong party. It only shows them as a relevant party. As opposed to, of course, in any, by arithmetics, out of 5, if you have 1, it doesn't qualify you as a strong contender, but it shows that you are relevant, and the other parties can actually watch out for them, and they stand a chance if they improve on their activities in respect of working out their campaigns, and also more grassroots campaign.
Now, given PDP's plan to challenge the aspects of the FCT elections, what legal thresholds must be met for a tribunal to overturn the declared results?
Well, the position of the Electoral Act is very clear. And, if you want to challenge any election, the first step is you must be able to prove that there is an anomaly. And, of course, that substantial compliance with the provision of the Electoral Act has not been followed. That's one. Number two, you must also establish that these non-compliance has affected the outcome of the elections. What do we mean by this? It means that if you're saying that there was no substantial compliance to the provisions of the Electoral Act, that non-compliance has now affected the outcome of the elections. Of course, you can also establish that the election was rigged, or the persons who voted, or the party who, the person who was voted for is not even qualified to run that election. You know, so those are factors that needs to be proven in court and not just sentiments.
All right, Oluwatodimuige, Principal Partner Oluwatodimuige and Associate, thank you so much for your time with us and sharing your thoughts on this.
Thank you very much for having me.
An absolute pleasure. All right, very quickly, let's step out of Nigeria and find out what's happening in South Africa. Now, the son of late former Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe is expected to appear in court. Bellarmine Chatunga Mugabe and a co-accused are due before the Alexandria Magistrate Court following a shooting in Hyde Park, an upmarket suburb of Johannesburg. Police say a gardener sustained gunshot wounds during the incident last week and remains in a critical condition in hospital. The two suspects were arrested on Thursday and now face charges of attempted murder. Right now, News Central's Wangani Siziba is at the court with the latest development. Wangani, what has transpired so far in court?
Absolutely, blessings. It's a very good afternoon to you and also very good afternoon to our viewers. I'm still in Alex, where a high-profile case has just taken a new turn with two individuals, that is Bellarmine Mugabe and his co-accused Tobias Mugabe, who is also, I understand, is carrying the Mugabe name. They appeared today here at the court with charges that includes attempted murder, defeating the hands of justice, and also possession of a firearm. But interestingly, blessings, despite these charges, the firearm in question has yet to be recovered, and news around is also that the gardener doesn't remember who shot him. So all this has complicated the matter, but however, this matter has been postponed to the 3rd of March for both accused to apply for bail. They all remain in custody as these legal proceedings unfold. But it's quite interesting, blessing. While this case behind the courtroom walls, lawyers and prosecutors are engaged in a heated debate of legal debate rather. Outside on the streets, across social media platforms, different kind of a battle is also ranging with public opinions that are deeply divided. So it's a battle between South Africans and Zimbabweans, with Zimbabweans saying that Bellarmine is their last born. We know that he's the last born of the former president, Robert Mugabe, so they are pleading for mercy, while on the other side, South Africans are saying he must face the law here in South Africa and he must be subjected to harsh punishment. So this is the battle that is there on the streets. But justice must take its course regardless of the background. So this case has become a litmus test for South African justice system, with a high stakes involved because he is a high-profile figure. But also earlier in court, we saw friends of Bellarmine who came to support him. However, we didn't see high-profile figures from Zimbabwe. That is the mother of Bellarmine or his uncles, or maybe his brother, that is Robert Jr. But however, earlier the proceedings were delayed because of a mix-up about the case location, but it was later resolved. But also his lawyer, Sinenhlanhla Mnguni, spoke to the media and said that when they come back on the 3rd, they are going to apply for bail conditions, not conditions rather, for bail, but also he indicated that consultations with his clients are done. So we continue to monitor this case here at Alexandra, where it's going to be on the 3rd of March, and bring all the updates for our viewers. case. Blessings.
Okay, very quickly, let's go deeper into the details. Has the prosecution provided any of the details about the motive or the circumstances surrounding the shooting?
Yet, Blessings. All we know is that, like I've said, that the gun is still missing, and also on the streets there are rumors that the person who was shot, rather the gardener, is now saying that he doesn't remember. So the prosecution has not said anything. We wait for the 3rd of March. But however, what we know is that the gun, allegedly gun that was used, is still missing. So this also complicates the case. But other than that, we know that the police say that they have the cartridges that they were picked on the scene. So we know that 2 people. That is because the other one we didn't know who he was, but today it was revealed that he's Tobias Mugabe, so which means he's also Mugabe. So earlier on we had heard that he is the security guard, so we still don't know the details, who exactly is he in the Mugabe family. But back to your question, the magistrate has not said anything. The lawyers of these 2 are going to apply for bail come the 3rd of March. Blessings.
All right, News Central's Lubongani Ziba live in Johannesburg, giving us an update on the ongoing case where former Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe's son co-accused and facing attempted murder charges. You're live with us on the 12 Report. We go on a short break. When we come back, we've got more stories. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Now let's talk about economic development. The Ondo Investment Summit 2026 has kicked off, bringing together government officials, investors and development partners to explore new opportunities in agriculture, energy, technology and infrastructure. The state government says the summit will showcase Ondo's economic potential and attract strategic partnerships aimed at driving growth, job creation and sustainable development. News Central's Victor Mbadike is on standby for more updates on this. Victor, good afternoon to you. Now, why is this summit significant for Ondo State, especially at this time?
Well, Blessings, thank you. There's so much going on in Ondo State at the moment. Just a couple of weeks back, we had Ondo State celebrate 50 years since its creation. Remember that in 1976, when the then military head of state, Murtala Mohammed, created Ondo State like every other state. So looking back and say, okay, how much have we achieved in terms of development, in terms of growth, in terms of infrastructure over the last 50 years? And then today is one of such occasions where they think that they need to shift from what we call the civil service economy, where they largely depend on federal allocations, where they depend on civil service salaries, where they depend on oil revenue sharing and all of that. All of a sudden, the state is saying that I think we need to move from consumption to production. And that is why they're having what they call the Ondo Investment Summit, where, of course, every single creme de la creme in terms of business tycoons are gathered here. Just some few minutes back, we saw Cosmos Maduka, the chairman of Koskari's Motors, who spoke, gave a speech and, trying to implore Ondo indigents to, take such initiatives and shift away from what is the norm in Ondo, like every other state, and begin to become productive. So he's sharing insight into how he became successful, how the state government can also partner with him, how we can also invest. So we've had several investors here in Ondo State at the moment as we speak. All of Ondo State government is trying to see how they can talk to these people and see how they can bring in their own expertise in terms of, making Ondo the signage of all eyes. Like I said before, Ondo State, like some other states in Nigeria, hugely depend on FARC allocations, and all of that. But they no longer want that because they've seen that it's not sustainable. For instance, what if FARC allocation does not come in? Salaries most of the time can get delayed. What if they have issues or challenges in oil revenue share? We've seen that happen many times, and that is about to shift, and that's why we're having this summit. Hopefully, that will change the narrative going forward and see a lot of development in terms of infrastructures, coming up in Ondo State. Ondo State has its own fair share of challenges in time past, and it's time Governor Lucky Aiyeda to look inwards and see what can we do, change the fortunes of this state, and that's why they're having this Ondo Investment Summit 2026. Of course, we do have Abiola Oladotu, who is also here. He's an investor in agri business. He's a CEO. He'll be telling us and sharing us his ideas on why he's here and what Ondo State Ondo State government is doing and how much important is it. Very quickly, please come on here. Good afternoon. Please tell us exactly how important is this summit to the people of Ondo State? Particularly, we're looking at the fact that they are trying to shift from consumption to production, because over time, the state has been dependent on, for instance, FAC allocation, civil service salaries, oil revenue, and all of that. But it's about a change. How important is this for the state, and what Governor Aiyeda is currently trying to do?
Well, thank you so much. My name is Adi Dotson. This is very, very important, especially to the youth in Ondo State, because this is unlocking a lot of opportunities for Ondo people, in the sense of they are not selling bean anymore, cocoa. They are looking for more investors. They are unlocking the investors' ability to come around and invest more in processing, in storage, and also in semi-finished products and also finished products. So we don't need to sell bean. We don't need to sell our bean of oil palm, our bean of cocoa. We are processing it. That is why the governor of Ondo State, Governor Lucky Aiyeda, is doing a very great job opening up the path of Ondo agribusiness. Not just agribusiness, opening up the path of natural resources, opening up the path of ease of doing business. Because before now, we used to have a lot of bureaucracies, especially when it comes to the youth, trying to do agriculture, trying to do a lot of new businesses and all of that. But what Governor Lucky is doing is opening up our spaces into investing more, into doing technology, putting in technology into agriculture. So a whole lot is being done now to make Ondo a working state.
Before I let you go, at the end of the day, the most important thing is how will all of these impact the youthful population of Ondo State? You are a businessman, and that's why you're here. Of course, you might just want to start thinking of investing in this beautiful state. In all of these, in the long run, because we have a lot of businessmen here too, how would this impact the youth? How would it change the narrative for the teeming youths of this state?
Wow, that's a very good question. Thank you so much, Mr. Vic. It will change, one, the perspective of people, two, the empowerment, job creation for people, and also the teeming youth would embrace agriculture, we embrace natural resources, we embrace a whole lot in this investment plan. Because this investment plan, I can't lie to you, the population, the percentage of it is for the youth. It will definitely make youth to see the good in their state. It will make even all the populace of this community to see the good work that is being done in Ondo State. It will create a lot of empowerment, a lot of IGR to the Ondo State community, and also new opportunities will spring up. Since there is a job creation, since there is empowerment, new opportunities will definitely spring up, and then there will be diversification of businesses. So it will tell a lot on the economy of the state, both for the young and for the old, both for the business people and for the consumers.
Well, thank you so much, Abiola Didotun. Thank you so much. So, blessings. Let me put it in a very simple and summarized way. When you run business, you make money, and when you make money, you invest that capital, just so your business can grow and develop. And that's what Ondo State is trying. They no longer want to depend at the center where they, go to meetings and say, okay, let us collect our share and bring back to the state. And I mean, that is not sustainable, and that is what Ondo State is trying to do, to see how they can get their youths engaged and ensure that their youths don't continue to travel out of the country, what they call Japa, or leave Ondo State and then leave the state into a comatose. So one of the such reasons is to see how much he can gather all the business tycoons he can get across Nigeria and beyond, and grow the state. Look at the entire background. It's colorful, like, orange color. So I'm pretty sure that is what he's trying to do and see how we can, make Ondo State colorful again. So blessings. That's what we expect to see, and I hope that we have a beautiful time in Ondo State.
All right, it is indeed colorful, and like you said, the colors represent the hopes and aspiration that Ondo State can be colorful once again regarding business. That's why this powerful gathering of businessmen exists, the Ondo Investment Summit 2026. Thank you to Victor Mbadike for being on ground to cover that, and definitely he'll still be on standby to give us more updates. Now, moving on, let's talk about tech innovation. Former Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naji, says Nigeria is witnessing steady growth in innovation and technology development, driven by rising startup activities and expanding digital adoption. Now, speaking during a media and stakeholder engagement in Lagos, he noted that increased private sector investment and improved policy direction are encouraging more young Nigerians to embrace innovation. However, he said progress remains uneven across states, citing Enugu as an example where innovation ecosystems and technology infrastructure need greater support.
Nigeria is going to be the hub, and solar panels produced in this country, produced by Longi, will be one of the best in the world, or the best actually, because the one they have in Ohio is sold off 5 years. The one in Asia is sold off 5 years. Minimum, So when we start producing here, we'll be exporting to many other African countries. So Nigeria is going to be a hub. So we are talking of employment. We are talking of reducing the evil effect of exchange rate, buying dollar all the time and sending it, because you can see what is happening now. The foresight of the president is making, by supporting Dangote to open his refinery, is making the dollar lose strength against Naira. You can see what the dollar is at now, because people no longer go and buy dollar to go and import PMS, import diesel and all these things. It is in-house. So this solar panel factory will still do the same thing. It will help Nigerians, and it will help strengthen the Naira with our people, to interact. Because things must be right. People must be put right. And we cannot compete with any other state in the southeast now. In terms of infrastructure, in terms of development, Owerri have easily taken over. Look at what is happening in Abia. Look at what is happening in Ebonyi. They've all taken over. Anambra. Enugu is at the last, distant last. It is for lack of government foresight.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has forecast reduced visibility and cloudy conditions across Nigeria from Monday through Wednesday. Now, in the north, including Borno and Yobe, moderate thick dust haze is expected, with visibility ranging between 2 and 5 kilometers. Conditions are likely to intensify midweek and extend into the north-central region. Southern states will experience cloudy skies with sunny intervals. Isolated morning thunderstorms are predicted in Cross River and Akwa Ibom, while light rainfall may develop later in Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Edo, Bayelsa, Rivers, and Delta. NIMET is advising residents with respiratory conditions to take necessary precautions and urging airlines to obtain airport-specific weather reports for safe flight operations. And now, still to come, Mexico cartel violence sparks a nationwide arson. We have the details after the break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us on the news. The killing of notorious cartel boss Nemesio Cervantes, widely known as El Mencho, has triggered violent reprisals across Mexico. Following a military operation in Jalisco, gunmen torched vehicles and blocked more than 20 roads. Streets in Leon turned deserted, while businesses and cars were set ablaze in Guanajuato and Oaxaca. Authorities have vowed to track down those behind the coordinated retaliation as security forces intensify operations nationwide.
responsables y que ese tipo de actuaciones que de alguna manera afrentan al Estado no lo se van a permitir por parte ni del Estado ni de ninguna corporación de seguridad. ¿Cuánto tiempo duraron estos hechos confirmados? Hasta ahorita 14 vehículos en 4 municipios.
And in North Korea, the ruling Workers' Party has re-elected Kim Jong-un as General Secretary during a rare national congress in Pyongyang. State media reports that thousands of party elites attended the once-in-5 years meeting, where military leaders pledged loyalty to Kim. The Congress praised what it described as radical advances in nuclear capabilities, declaring the country ready for any form of war. Now, Chinese President Xi Jinping congratulated Kim, signaling closer ties. Kim is expected to outline the next phase of North Korea's nuclear program in the coming days. President Vladimir Putin says strengthening Russia's nuclear forces remains an absolute priority, coming weeks after the expiration of the last meeting of remaining nuclear arms control treaty with the United States. In remarks released on Russia's Defender of the Fatherland Day, observed annually on February 23rd, Putin stressed the importance of maintaining and modernizing the country's nuclear arsenal as a key pillar of national security. The holiday is traditionally marked by military displays and patriotic events that highlight the strength of Russia's armed forces.
Приоритетом остается развитие ядерной триады, которая служит гарантией безопасности России, позволяет эффективно обеспечивать стратегическое сдерживание и баланс сил в мире. Будем качественно наращивать потенциал всех других родов и видов вооруженных сил, повышать их боеготовность, мобильность, способность действовать в любых самых сложных условиях. И, конечно, будем наращивать темпы разработки перспективных систем для вооруженных сил. Мы продолжим масштабную работу по укреплению армии и флота с учетом развития международной ситуации. На основе боевого опыта, полученного в ходе специальной военной операции, с опорой на мощные силы нашей промышленности, науки, индустриальных и высокотехнологичных.
Now, protesters have gathered outside the International Criminal Court in The Hague as judges open a hearing to decide whether former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte should face trial for alleged crimes against humanity. Demonstrators called for accountability over Duterte's deadly anti-drug crackdown. The ICC's confirmation of charges hearing will determine whether there is sufficient evidence to proceed to a full trial. And prosecutors allege Duterte was linked to dozens of killings, while rights groups estimate the death toll could reach thousands. Judges are expected to deliver a ruling in the coming weeks. Now, in the past week, NDLEA has again made headlines after arresting a woman and another so-called big boy in Lekki, allegedly involved in drug trafficking. For many Nigerians, the reactions are mixed. Now, on one hand, there's relief that the agency keeps intercepting these operations. But on the other hand, there is frustration because it feels like this cycle never really ends. And what does that say about our international image? Every few weeks, another arrest, another headline, another reminder that the underground trade is still very active. Now, credit must go to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Their recent operations show that surveillance is tightening and traffickers are being watched more closely than before. But again, this is why people still take the risk. For some, it's the pressure to survive in a tough economy. And for others, it is the illusion of quick wealth and flashy lifestyles that make the danger seem worth it. But why do they feel so confident to keep doing this? Social media has also played a role, normalizing luxury without always showing the consequences behind the scenes. And maybe, just maybe, that's why people are desperate to make money any which way. If we're being honest, arrest alone will not stop the trend. Stronger financial monitoring, youth empowerment opportunities, serious awareness campaigns need to work alongside enforcement. Now, until the reasons people enter the trade are addressed, someone else will always step in to replace the person who has just been caught. So yes, NDLEA deserves the applause for the wins. But the bigger question still remains, Nigeria needs to be ready. And are we truly ready to tackle this from the root? And that's your postscript. Now, before we go, let's take a look at what's happening in the sporting world. We'd like to remind you that In the Games comes right after the 12 report. But in the meantime, that's all on the 12 report for today. Do send in your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen because we want to see what you see. And also follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Gold TV channel 23, Star Times 274, Avo TV, and live on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Blessings Masugu.